Hi guys, welcome back on another session then where we'll be looking at the tariffs. On this question, guys, we're going to look at in this session we're going to look at the level 2 questions on tariff, which are very basic questions that I think each and everyone needs to know and understand how to solve these questions. These are just level 2 questions. Whether you're in grade 12, grade 11, grade 10, these are the questions. These are questions that I think most of you guys you need to know and understand. And now we're gonna get into it, guys, without wasting time. Um, Please remember, guys, to interact with me, guys, on the comment section, and yeah, like and share, and also subscribe, guys, if you like what I'm doing, and also inform others to to join the channel so that we can work and many questions with many questions. So now thank you very much, guys. Let's get into it. um Now let's look at this question, guys. As I said, this level 2 question, just basic question on the tariff. Now it says here, a household receives a monthly electricity bill from their service provider. It could be ESCOM or the municipality. Now they are saying here the provider uses a tariff system that includes a fixed monthly fee of 120 rands. Now it says which must be paid regardless of how much electricity is used. In addition to this, the household is charged 2 rand 50 cents per kilowatt hour for the amount of electricity they consume during the month. Now, they are saying here the total electricity cost therefore depends on both the fixed charge and the number of kilowatts used. So the total monthly cost that they are paying for this electricity, it depends on two things. It depends their bill. That's what that they're referring to. Their bill depends on their fixed charge, which is this one here. They've mentioned it at the top here, which we have already said this is a fixed. Yeah, this is a fixed monthly fee, and then also they're going to be charged for each and every unit. So if they for each and every unit that they're going to use, and they're going to be charged also here, they're going to be charged, as we can see that they're going to be charged how much? They're going to be charged 250 for per kilowatt hour that they will be using in that month. So now let's look at the question now. Let's get into the question. The question now says here, calculate the cost of using 150 kilowatts 150 kilowatts. So now what exactly are they looking for in this question now? Let's get into that. So here, this cost that they are looking for here, it is the consumption cost. Yeah, some you can call it like that. It is called what? A consumption cost. Uh, Spelling there. Let's correct it first. Consumption cost. Or it's either they are looking for, okay, we can say it is a usage cost. So when you're in grade 12, we know that you are talking about a variable cost. It is a variable cost. The variable cost. So this is what they're looking. They're looking for the cost of using this, and then how much these units they will cost without a fixed monthly fee. So just these units, how much these units are they costing? These units that they're going to use. So now so now to calculate this cost, therefore, you can say cost is equals to the tariff for per unit there. It could be the tariff the tariff that they're using there, then times the number of units that they have used, number of units. So that's how you can calculate this cost. Therefore, now if we do our calculation, therefore, our tariff now in this case, it's what is 250 times how many units that they've used. They've used 150 kilowatts. So now this, therefore, it gives us how much? Therefore, this it will give us around 375 rand. So that's what they will cost these units. 150 units they will cost 375 rand. So that's what it will cost. Now let's get into the next question now. Therefore, the next question now, what does it say? Or what does the next question say? The next question says to us, calculate the total monthly bill, including the fixed fee. So now this question now it says we need to calculate the bill, but now in this part here, we need to include this part. We need to include what? The fixed fee, which is the monthly fee of 120. So now what would be the total bill therefore? If they've also used if they've used how many units, therefore these units that are mentioned there at the top. So that's what we're going to look for now in this case. If they've used this unit, so what will be the monthly bill then if they've used this unit? So now we are looking at the total monthly bill. Okay, let me just try to enlarge this so that maybe some of you might not be able to see that. Let me try to enlarge it a little bit. So this is what we're gonna have. So now remember they said here the total electricity cost therefore depends on what? On both the fixed charge and the number of kilowatts used therefore. So we have already calculated the cost of that. So now the total monthly bill is gonna be, it depends on the fixed cost, which is the monthly fee, and then plus it depends on what? On already what we have already called what? The variable cost. A variable cost, remember guys, is what we've been calculating at the top, which is the consumption cost or the usage cost. So that's what we've been calculating here. So now let's calculate therefore how much will it cost therefore. Now we are looking at the fixed cost. Now our fixed cost therefore is how much? It's 120. Then the variable cost we've already calculated there at the top, therefore it will give us 375. And then this it will give us therefore a total of how much therefore. So now if you add these two, therefore you will get around 495 rand. Then that will be your answer for that. All right, let's get into the next question therefore. The next question now, what is it asking us to do? So on this next question, the question says to us, calculate the total number of kilowatts per hour used if the household paid a 325 rand in a month. They've paid 325 rand in a month. This is the amount that they've paid. So now here we are given the total monthly bill of 325. So if you're looking at this, so this is now our bill, our total monthly bill. So therefore it is equals to how much? Therefore it is equals to 300. So we are given that. if they paid this amount. So how many units are they going to pay? So now we need to break down this. Therefore, we have already said that it above there, we are give above that the total monthly bill depends on the fixed cost, which is the monthly fee that is paid, regardless if they use the electricity or they don't use the electricity. So they have to pay that cost. And then also plus what? Plus the variable cost. And then so now in this case, we need to, in this question here, we are not given the variable cost in this question that we're doing here. So that means we need to find the consumption cost. We need to find the consumption cost, which is also the variable cost that we need. So we need to find that one. So now let's get into that part, therefore. Now we're going to start again. So the total, I'm going to say the total now, just to save time. The total, it consists of what? Of the fixed cost, which is the monthly fixed cost, remember? And then plus what? Therefore, plus the usage cost, or because this is the number of we are looking for that. So yeah, we can use say usage cost, which is the variable cost. Okay. Now, what is our cost, our total cost? Therefore, our total cost now in this case, we need to solve this part. Therefore, it's going to be 325 equals to the monthly fixed cost. Therefore, of how much? Therefore, we have a monthly fixed cost of 120 plus the usage cost. So we need to find the usage cost, therefore. So now if we do that, therefore, and then what do we have to do now? We need to rearrange this equation and then transpose, and then the like terms to group my like terms on the one side. So that means we need to transpose this one and put it into the other side. So if we put into this other side, therefore, we're going to have something that would say now, therefore, the usage cost, therefore, is going to be equals to 325 minus, because this one 20 jump equals sign that side, then it's going to give us, it's going to be minus 120. So we need to transpose 120 to the side. So if we transpose 120 to the side, we're going to be left with the usage cost. That's why I'm saying usage cost is this. Now, if we now subtract here these two, therefore, you'll be left with 205 rand. So now that's what we'll be left with if we subtract the two. So are we done yet? No. The question is we need to calculate the number of kilowatts that we use. So now what we have just done, from the total cost of 325, we've just removed the fixed cost. The fixed cost is the one that you pay with that. So now we are left with the cost of the units. So this is the cost of units, the units that were paid for. So now here we need to find with how many units that are here, therefore. So we need to find the unit that are here. I'm going to use this space here, this side. So we need to calculate the number of kilowatt-hour used. Yes, used. Now let's look at that. So now this is going to be equals to 205 divided by the number. How much does 1 unit cost? 1 unit, it costs 250. So now we're going to divide here by 2 rand 50. Then therefore, how much does this give us? Therefore, it will give us 82 kilowatts-hour. And then that's it. And then come to this question. Therefore, there were just these 3 questions that I prepared for you. And then I also have okay, I just want to also maybe look at this question now. Where do we find these questions? These questions are level 2. It's a level 2 question for grade 10. For grade 10 mathematical literacy. So these questions, they are based, the context of this question, they are based in grade 9 and also grade 10. But you must understand that in grade 9, this is part of mathematics. This question is part of mathematics. So you're gonna find these questions in grade. I want to find a space where I'm gonna write this for you. So yeah, let me say this is part of grade 9. In grade 9, it is mathematics. You'll find this part of mathematics. Yeah, it's part of mathematics. And then grade 10, you'll also find this question in mathematical literacy. And where exactly are you finding these questions? In grade 9, it's when this question is based is based on the ability to solve what we call linear equations or linear functions. That's where you find this question in grade 9. And also in grade 10, you find these questions on what? You find this question on financial context. You'll find this question in financial context. Financial context. So I'm just gonna leave the context there. Or you will find this question on tariffs, most definitely. You're gonna find this. These are tariffs. So you'll find this question there. But now, what exactly are we assessing then in this question? So in look at this question number 1. So in this question number 1, what is being assessed there? They are trying to check if you are able to substitute to the equation and find the variable cost here. So this one is just a basic calculations on finding what a variable cost. That is what we're looking at. That's a skill that we're looking at on question number 1. And then on question number 2, 1.2 here. So this question is in grade 9 mathematical literacy. It's based on equation building. Yeah, that's where you find this. You find this in equation building. Yeah, you find this in equation building. That's where you find this question, and that's where we look. We check the understanding of the relationship in a form of y is equals to mx plus c. So whereby in this case here, this 120 here is a constant value. So this 120 is a constant value, meaning that it represents c in this case. And whereby in this case here, because I didn't break down this one, remember this 375, it comes from this equation. It comes from this equation here. It comes from this equation here. So where this one, this 250 here, it stands for the gradient. So let me just write it like this. Let me just change it for you so that you can see where does it come from, this 320 here, so that we can understand what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say that I'm just gonna break down that 375. So it is 2 rand 250 times yes. So this is, so in this case, therefore 120, as I've already said, it represents what? The constant, which is representing c. And then here the 250, it represents m. So 250 here represent a gradient. We say this is gradient 250. And then when you look at this, we see represent 120. So this is equation building in grade 9. So you'll find this is where you find it. And also now when it comes to this question, the last question here, what exactly are we focusing here? Here we are solving for an unknown. More especially, we are looking at you manipulating the equation to find the input when you are given the output. So in this case, you are given the output. The output was this one. This is the output, and then we have to find what the input. So if they've used these kilowatts, so they had to pay this amount. So you're given the input, the output. So whereby the number of units here, it is your input. This one stands for the input. And if they've used this kilowatt, then they will get a total of this. And then this is one. This one is our output. So now that's it in this question. Oh, but before now I leave you guys. So here is an activity. Try to solve this one. Give yourself maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then solve this question. Now it's similar to that, and yeah, just solve it. And then I've tried to give you the solutions here. Try to get these answers here for each question that is given there at the top. Read the statements, and then I've given you some hint here so that you can follow these things. And if now you get this question, if you find these answers, I want you to give me a thumbs up now, and also share this with others, and also subscribe, guys. Thank you very much, guys. I'm gonna leave it here. Sharp sharp.